Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. I've promised you a video about my technique to take photos of bees on white background. So, because we're all confined in Belgium, this is a perfect time for you to learn this technique indoors. And so I'm going to show you the equipment I use, how I managed to keep the bees quiet, and how I'm going to shoot it, and then in another video how I'm processing the images to produce the photos, the infographics that you see on the Wild BNB page on Facebook. So it's a fairly easy technique. I'm going to be as detailed as possible. I will probably put some subtitles in French and English under this video, and possibly in Dutch as well. And so if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments and I will try to reply to you as soon as possible. So, as I say, I'm in my kitchen. I've been collecting bees in my garden, just here for a garden terrace. And I'm going to show you how I'm shooting these bees using this very simple equipment. So I do have my camera here, which is a Canon 70D with a lens which is a 100mm f2.8 Canon, and a flash on the top. So this flash is providing light that will be diffused in this very simple piece of paper. You see, it's just a piece of paper on a wire frame which I attach. You can use rubber bands, you can use a lot of different things for that. But yes, so the flash shoots light through the piece of paper and it makes a nice diffused light. I will talk about the settings of the camera later. Here I do have a bunch of bees that I collected this morning. There's like maybe a dozen different species, and these ones as well I collected this morning. So I'm going to shoot these bees. People ask me, like, how can I just, are they alive when I shoot them? Yes, they're totally alive. It is possible that I keep them in boxes for anything between 10 minutes and several hours, depending on the species of the bee, just to keep them quiet. So I'm going to show you how I get these bees out. But you can see it's just a very simple piece of paper, a camera, a few bees, and then little pots to keep them contained. Oopsie, sorry, very clumsy. So, there we go. Here is how we're going to set it up. You can see there's some bees running around here, so I'm going to start shooting this one. So, keeping all the others on the side. A couple of pots here. So, we are good, we are set, and we should be alright. So, I usually shoot them indoors just to prevent them from escaping, and when I'm outdoor I'm using a mosquito net. So you see this one has been in the box for a bit of time, so he is very quiet for now. So I'm gonna just grab it, put it here up under this pot, and they usually will start running around for a few minutes. Oops, this one was just a bit cold, so there we go. So I'm just going to leave it here. I can use the edge of the pot to position it. I like to take them sideways. Yeah, this one I found this morning on my terrace, and it wasn't in a good shape. I think it's just, oh, there we go. So there's the bee, just nice and slow. So they're very sluggish because they were outside. It's not really hot outside. So camera setting, turn it on. I shoot manual, if you know what it's all about. Shooting manual, speed 1/200, aperture f14 and ISO 200. Flash is about half power. So with all these settings, I'm just ensuring that the bee is nice and still, as it is, and then I am usually focusing manual, and I just achieve the focus by getting closer or further from the bee. Everything is set, and I try to get the eye in focus, and also any kind of feature that could be used for identification. And the flash didn't trigger, so oh, wasn't properly engaged. Try again. There we go. So this is what I get. Oops. You can see the image is blinking. I have a setup on my camera that shows the highlights. It's a highlight alert. and it just shows you the area which is overexposed. And that's pretty much what I want. The shadow under the bee can be fixed fairly easily. I'm using Lightroom for that. And so this is what I want. The bee is in focus, the bee is surrounded by a lot of white, and everything else can be fixed. So I'm going to just quickly zoom in to see if there is any modification. I can increase a bit the focus. So the thing is, because I'm on this piece of paper, I can easily move the piece of paper to reposition the bee as I want. And sometimes I'm using a little twig or a piece of paper just to kind of help it move the white legs out of the way. Okay, so this is good. Once I'm done, I'm usually putting them back in the pot. So this one was very sluggish. This one is going to be a bit more sporty. It's an Anthophora Plumipes, and it's been in the box for about an hour. And it should be... Oh, it's still alright. So, Anthophora Plumipes, it's still very sluggish too. Perfect. So here I'm going to move the camera and try the... So one of the things bees do when they are stressed is that they just put their legs up as a warning sign. But once they chill a bit, they just move them down again. If you look closely, you can see that it's got very hairy legs, hence the name hairy-footed flower bee. You can see it breathing. So in this case, I'm going to just move it down a bit. I'm just going to leave that here for a minute. So yeah, it's real time. As you can see, it takes anything between 1 and 10 minutes to shoot one single bee. When the bees are really active and very, very warm, it might take an hour or two before they just slow down enough to shoot them. So it's really a game of patience, and it takes a bit of time to reach the results you want. As you can see, I'm not running out of toilet paper. I've got enough for myself and for my bees. I'm going to make a little pencil here just to see if... There we go. Now now he's flying. It's male. Okay, now the position is good. I'd like to shoot it from the other side. It's going to be even better. And I can really see the wings. I can see the legs. Oh, there we go. Now that's how normally they are the moment you catch them. They're a bit jumpy. So having this spot, you can just move it sideways from time to time, and the bee will be... Okay, so this is the position I want. I want to really have a good view of the middle leg, because that's the criteria for identifying that bee. So, up, there we go. And I want a nice view of the side. Yeah, real time, so it takes a long time to get them to slow down. I hope you're all doing fine with your confinement. Please stay safe, stay at home. Catch some bees in your backyard, take photos, send them on WildBnB. There we go, perfect. This is exactly the view I want. So you see, I'm just moving the paper so that the bee is positioned. I try to get them like perpendicular to the axis of my camera, so I've got as much in focus as possible. Shooting them at f14 on a Canon camera give you enough depth of field to see like the eye, the mandible, and usually at least 1 or 2 legs. So in this case, I want the bee... I need to show that it's got a way yellow face. I need to show that the middle leg is very feathery. So I'm going to shoot it from a bit further up to increase my depth of field. So camera is ready. Flash is there. Alright, now is to see it's going to fly away or not. Doing good. There we go. So this happens a lot of times. That's why you're shooting indoor. That's why you're keeping little pots around. Up, 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 come here. Got it. And so you do that a few times until the bee is quite enough. So now he's got a bit of a taste of freedom. So it's going to be a bit jumpy for a minute or two, and then it's going to give up again. So you see, it's not automatic. It's technically it's not really difficult. You see, the equipment is fairly simple. If you got a DSLR camera, a flash, and just a piece of paper, it works. But patience is really the thing. So if you try to do that outdoors, you're losing the bee, unless you're shooting under a mosquito net. So I'm shooting them indoors. That's why you see me catching bees all the time. Also, a lot of these bees need to be preserved. It's not that's not my favorite part of the game. That's not of the job. It's necessary for many bees. A lot of the bees you can't properly identify just from the photos. I estimate about half of the bees of Brussels, like about 100 out of 200 species. Just to be sure, you really need to look at them under a microscope. Unless you really know what you're doing, it's very difficult to identify them properly just from photos, unless they're big. But like anything small, like in the Halictid family, in the some Coletes, all of that are very difficult to identify properly. So here our friend Anthophora plumipes male is still very nervous. It might take a while. In the meantime, what I can do is to shoot another bee. So I can usually put this one on the side. There we go. It's still there. And I'm using another pot with another bee from another plant. So this one I took the plant with it because it was on a flower, so I just took the flower with it so I can say that this bee was found on this flower. So what we have here, I'm blowing the dust that was in the pot. What we have here is a small Nomada bee, which is a cuckoo bee. It's very small, so I'll have to get really close. They are usually quite chilled. So I'm putting maximum magnification, and here we go. Beauty. So this is, again, you see the background is completely white, so it's perfect, just a little shadow under. And if you zoom in, you get this beautiful bee. You can see it's really a beautiful nomad bee. Looks like a wasp, but it's an actual bee. So I don't know exactly what it is, because you need to take photos on the other side. You need to look at the mandible, you need to look at the antennae. But already I've got a lot of information. I'm going to take a shot of the face. There we go. So shooting the face, shooting the back, shooting, if possible, the underside, all of these are very important for identification of many bees. So this is good. I'm gonna maybe just try to blow a bit, see if it moves its wings. You see it's alive and walking. Yeah, I'm not gonna get that. Alright, so this one I'll need to keep because I can't identify it just right now, and I have to ask David De Graaf, who is really the expert on these guys. So you can see it's not very difficult. I'm gonna have to be a bit more patient for this Anthophora plumipes. You can see it's still very, very annoyed. But this is what I'm keeping busy with. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. I will also produce a video showing you what I do with the photos that are on this SD card, how I process them with Lightroom and then with GIMP, a free software, to produce these beautiful infographics. I hope you enjoy this, and just don't hesitate to ask me questions.